You'll shoot your eye out, you'll shoot your eye out, you'll shoot your eye out, you'll shoot your eye out. Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Renton with the retro review of A Christmas Story from 1983. This classic is getting a sequel coming out in just a couple days, dropping on HBO Max. This movie is also currently on HBO Max, and actually it's a bit weird. They did A Christmas Story 2 about 10 years ago, a movie nobody really asked for, and now they're doing another sequel. It's a bit of a weird timeline. Also, this was written and directed by Bob Clark, who did movies such as Baby Geniuses 1 and 2. The man passed away a number of years ago, and it's really, really sad that Baby Geniuses 2 might have been one of the last big movies that he ended up doing. He also did My Summer Story, that somewhat kind of sequel to A Christmas Story that nobody really asked for. And he also did Porky's 1 and 2. Yes, the man that did Porky's did this. And he also did the Black Christmas original movie from 1974, which was pretty much the only good version of Black Christmas. And you can kind of see the horror elements of Black Christmas in this movie that has been considered a classic for a while, and I'm not really sure why, in all honesty. Turner got the rights to this, and they play a marathon of it every Christmas. And look, there are elements of a pretty halfway decent movie here, but maybe it's because I've seen it a whole bunch of times. Maybe it's because it hasn't aged all that well. Dear God, that closing scene at that Chinese restaurant. Oh boy, oh boy. And a few other things. Wasn't it great how there were only white kids in schools at this point? God damn, it's like, geez, they might as well have been wearing Klan hoods. I mean, granted, it was in Indiana, which Indiana is one of the whitest states in the goddamn union. At least it was at this point. And there are a few elements where it's like, okay, it captures the feeling of Christmas from a child's perspective, but this movie isn't very good. In fact, I would argue that a lot of this film really sucks. Like, Darren McGavin is actually the best character in this because he just captures the spirit of, well, I'm working hard. I just want a family to love me. I just basically want to be left alone when I get home after working hard for my money, Oh, money, money, money. Just give me lots of money. Good old Homer Simpson quote that I probably butchered. But Darren McGavin was great. Unfortunately, he's not going to be in the sequel because he passed away when he was 83, which means that he would have been approaching 100 by the point that this sequel's coming out. But nevertheless, it's also written by Lee Brown, who did My Summer Story, and Gene Shepard, who did the novel and also was the narrator as adult Ralphie. So Peter Billingsley plays the young Ralphie, and it's basically about a kid wanting a BB gun, a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. And when his parents don't listen, he tries to get a teacher to listen. Through a project, he tries to get Santa to listen, tries to get anybody to listen. He also beats up Zach Ward, who looked like a young Brock Lesnar here. And if you have not seen A Christmas Story, I don't know how. I really don't know how, because you probably have at least seen half of this movie by accident. Because again, the aforementioned, constant stream marathon that they do every single Christmas. I don't get why in the world this movie is seen as a classic. I still don't, to this day. It's kind of like, people say it's like a lot like It's a Wonderful Life. Like it gained, attention after that. It's a Wonderful Life at least had Jimmy Stewart in it. And it had him playing a ridiculous, full-on, kinda absolute dick in it. Maybe I'll retro-review It's a Wonderful Life and talk about that. But you have Melinda Dillon, who is actually going to be in the sequel. Scott Schwartz. And another character named Schwartz. R.D. Rupp, man, that must have been really difficult. Schwartz, you're due on set. Me Schwartz or he Schwartz? And then there are other people in this as well. It's all from the perspective of a young Ralphie. He narrates it, and we see how he navigates through school. Has a really, really, really super annoying brother named Randy. It was like the kid from The Secret Garden in the 1993 edition, turned up to 11, where you just wanted to summon the ghost of Chris Benoit to take care of him. Yes, I'm in the holiday spirit. But the dad, again, Darren McGavin, is just a goddamn treasure here. They do what they can here. It's just, some of it has aged poorly. Some of it wasn't that good to begin with, and some of the comedy sort of still hits, but again, the movie's been overplayed. The whole, you'll shoot your eye out thing keeps getting played up. And, alright, so basically, from the beginning, and when we get to the end, we'll stop. Ralphie, just wants to be good, he wants to do good. And he's a well-meaning kid, but he's also a kid that's growing up, and he has a super annoying brother. Once again, he has a super annoying brother. I did like the line, a golden tinkling display. That is not a toy, that is an R. Kelly special. Moving on. And as, you know, he keeps doing the subtle, not so subtle hints, he has to deal with Zach Ward's Scott Farkus, the Festivus Farkus, as it were. And, he, you know, him and his, like, bullying, newsy crony that, like, looks like he should be throwing papers, like, at, like, doorsteps. It's like, the war extends, read all about it, extra, extra. This is also before television. Because television came around, what, 47, 48 or something like that? Ralphie just continues to try and get his parents to buy him that. The mother blows it off. I again find myself identifying with Darren McGavin even more as he repairs the furnace, does all this stuff, as they're in the cold, cold winter of Indiana. I don't know why anybody would live in Indiana. I have not heard many good things about Indiana. I haven't heard anything especially terrible, but I haven't heard where, like, you have to move there because it's really good. So yeah, basically the dad swears a whole bunch, but we hear from the perspective, it's a whole bunch of, like, different words. And then we had the school, you know, we had the school scenes where Mrs. Fields, she's basically just trying to get all these goddamn hooligans going. And then, of course, Flick decides to flick his tongue on the, you know, frozen pole and gets it, you know, stuck in the and they have to call about 20 people because nobody possesses any kind of, you know, room temperature water where you could dump it on there and, hey, there you go. But then again, you don't want to fry the kid's tongue. And then one funny moment about the little orphan Annie secret decoder ring, where it's just basically drink your Ovaltine. That's what it is. I mean, that's scary, even older than me, even though I'm older than dirt. I mean, when I was in school, I had history. But, I did like how Darren McGavin said about the kids, not playing with your food, or I'll give you something to cry about. I mean, let's be honest, Randy, the little shit, deserved it. You goddamn stupid ass annoying kid. God, little shit. And they get the gift that they won in the contest. A Western Union telegram. God, it's hard to believe Western Union's still around. Fragile. Oh wait, no, it's fragile. A lot of references that MST did were found in this. The damn Bumpus' dogs, or Bumperson dogs, or however the hell it was. That giant gang of bloodhounds. Who would have that many bloodhounds, honestly? Unless you were like hunting for people in the Irish woods. Why would you have that many bloodhounds? And then there's the overly stuffed outlet where I'm amazed they didn't flash fry the entire neighborhood and the entire circuit with how many plugs they had there. I mean, granted, you really shouldn't do that. It's like, it's one thing to have like an outlet thing that spreads it out, but like that was just like jammed on top where it was like this, and it was like if you opened up the Pandora's box and it was just all twisted around like this and just on your head, and ow, this is poking me in the eye. Oh my god, I will shoot my eye out. The whole point is this movie has some comedic attempts that actually somewhat work. Not a lot of them. I would argue that this script, written by 3 different people, probably could have stood to just have 2 write it. And again, the direction is fine. It tells enough of a linear story about a kid in a journey to Christmas and really wanting that Red Ryder BB gun. He tries to get the teacher to butter up the teacher, Gross, it's not a Mary Kay Letourneau situation, to give him a better grade. But he only gets a C+, not even a B. I just wanted a B with your report card. And how he ended up swearing at one point when he was helping his dad change a tire. And he said he didn't learn it from Dad, even though the mother knew where he learned it from. It's like, where'd you learn from? I learned it from Schwartz. Me Schwartz or he Schwartz? And then the mother's on the phone and can hear Schwartz just getting the shit kicked out of him. I mean, good Lord. May the Schwartz be with you. And then the lamp breaks, because it was a leg lamp, by the way. Forgot to mention, the classic leg lamp with a fishnet stocking on. Who designed that? Who designed that? Who thought that was a good idea? What business does he work for that thought that was a good idea? But anyway, the lamp gets broken. Not a finger. I don't know why he sounded like Quint from Jaws, but nevertheless. And then Ralphie basically ends up having one too many of Farkus says insults and beats the shit out of him. I mean, just whacks him, just is mounting him, beating him up, shoves the crony bully, just is beating him up. I mean, honestly, like, that's what should have happened to Brock Lesnar a while ago. If you're a non-wrestling fan, Brock Lesnar and Brock Lesnar, those names mean absolutely nothing to you. He really does look like a young Brock Lesnar. Beating the shit out of him. The mother's wondering what the hell is going on, trying to get him to stop, because he finally just had enough. He had enough of being picked on, had enough of his brother being picked on, his little shit brother that was trapped in a snowsuit, and Gus should have been just able to meet the same fate as Jack Atkinson Jr. Jack Atkinson, easy for me to say. If you get it, you get it. And, I mean, just laid the shit out of it. It was kind of cool to see the bully get his comeuppance. And then the dad, he didn't care about the fight. Ralphie and his mother have a better understanding. Then we do the Santa scene where the line's so long and the mall is closing, but he gets up. He says, I want a football. No, not a football. He's about to slide down. He says, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Shoves him down. And then eventually he gets the Red Ryder BB gun. There you go. They have the huge tree. And that nobody moved. The fuse is out. Why Darren McGavin felt the need to emphasize that, I don't know. So he got the gun, he ends up shooting his eye out, almost, but the glasses protect him. And he accidentally steps on his glasses, has to make up a big old story like we all kids do to avoid getting in trouble, even though he's gotten in trouble numerous times in this movie. And now he's got his gun and everything. And everything's happy, except then the Bloodhound Gang breaks in and eats the turkey. And then they go eat at a Chinese takeout area where, fun fact, thanks to my friend Bobby, he told me, and I read up on this, and it's true, that they wanted a legit reaction from Melinda Dillon, so they didn't show her the duck until that scene. So she was literally just like over the moon, emotional, like, what the shit, what the hell's going on here? And the duck, it had the attached neck and everything. It's smiling at me, and then they cut the thing off, and it's funny, and they do really, really offensive renditions of Christmas songs where I'm like, geez, and I mean, I'm all for jokes, but whew, God, I don't even know how that got away in the 80s. But anyway, nevertheless, then Ralphie has his gun. He has it pointed at his brother while he's sleeping. I hope it's not loaded. You'll shoot your eye out. Now, on April 5th, 1994, somebody did. And on that note, Merry Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, a Christmas Story. Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was not great. Not great at all. Yeah, not exactly a movie that I think needs to be revisited. I can understand if people like it. And I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, but as far as overly hyped Christmas movies, this is one of the most overly hyped with the least amount of return. Let's see how A Christmas Story Christmas goes. I mean, it can't be that bad. Now I just cursed it. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. Well, you're not. I am. I'll probably shoot my eye out. You'll shoot your eye out. We'll shoot our eyes out. See you soon.